I'm starting with a couple of these trifold presentation boards. I get them from Dollar Tree, and my cardboard cutter. This is a zip snip, and I get this off of Amazon. Now the presentation boards measure 28 by 40 inches, and I'm going to take two of the boards and cut one side panel off of each. And then I'm going to meet those two boards that I just cut and tape them together. Now I'm just using some painter's tape because the tape here is not permanent. I'm going to mark 10 inches in from the right side. And go all the way up my board. And then 10 inches on the left side. And I'm just making a straight line. And my goal here was to just make a center cutout. So some of these lines were extra measurements that you don't have to do, but this was my first time doing it, so I was just marking off so I could cut a rectangle in the center of my two trifold boards. Now I'm going to flip them upside down, and I'm going to take some painter's tape and secure the back side. Now I want this to be permanent, so I'm going to take a few popsicle sticks in my hot glue gun, and I'm just going to hot glue 3 popsicle sticks where the two boards connected. I'm going to take a second trifold board, and I'm not going to cut anything off of that one. I'm going to lay them both on the floor, put one underneath the other one, and using some Wise Owl black paint and a mini foam roller, I'm just going to roll over the entire cardboard. Now you want to make sure this dries completely. I'm going to move that away, and then the bottom trifold board I'm going to completely cover with the black paint as well. And you want to make sure you get complete coverage and then allow this to all dry really well. Next I have this brick stencil, which I had gotten this one from Prima, and I believe they discontinued it, but I know there are other places that make it, so I will find a link for you guys. And I'm just going to place it on the bottom right side of my board. And using some painter's tape, I'm going to tape down the left side of the stencil really well. And you just want to make sure that the stencil is straight. And I'm going to use a putty knife and some joint compound. And I'm just going to spread the joint compound on top of the entire stencil. Now you're going to want to put a good amount on. You want it to be a little on the thicker side. And once you have it fully covered, you can then take your putty knife and just smooth it out. And as you smooth it out, you can take the extra joint compound that's going to be on your putty knife and just wipe it off onto another plate, and we can use that as we move to the other sections. And once it's smoothed out and I don't see any of the black cardboard underneath, I'm going to slowly lift the stencil. And then this needs to dry, and I go and spray my stencil off. And I'm basically going to repeat all of those steps as I go around the entire front of the cardboard. Now, you do have to be patient and let everything dry. And if you spray your stencil off, you're just going to want some paper towels to dry it off before you move to your next section. Now, if I were to redo this, I would start in the center top of the cardboard cutout. I got lucky and it worked out perfect. I didn't have any mess ups in the design, but I should have started where I ended, right here in the center. And then go out the sides and then down the bottom. So again, I'm just using the joint compound and a putty knife, going on top of the stencil, and then lifting it. Now, once I had the entire front done, I just lifted it off the ground and bent the sides down so that it could dry properly. I then took some heavy-duty corner bases. These are 3 inches, and I just got them from the hardware store. And now I did let my joint compound dry for a couple days. And I'm going to take these corner base brackets and glue one on the back, left and right side. And I'm just adhering the cardboard to the bracket with some hot glue. And then I'm going to repeat this on the bottom, back, right, and left sides. So we just attached the back cardboard. Then I'm going to take my trifold board again, and I'm cutting both of the flaps off and just taking the center piece, which is 20 inches. And I did that to 2 trifold boards. So you're going to need 2 20-inch pieces of cardboard or 1 40-inch big piece. And since I needed to do the 2 small pieces, I'm going to glue both of these together at the crease here where they meet. And I'm just gluing the popsicle sticks down. And now I have these brackets that you can also find at the hardware store. I believe they're called corner brackets, and I'm just going to glue them on the front side of the cardboard in the center, and then one on the back side in the center of the cardboard. And I'm just going to take my painter stick, cut it so it's the length of the top here, and then glue it on top of the brackets. And this is just going to help support the top cardboard piece. And I did this also on the left and right side. So I'm just taking the brackets, gluing them on the inside front, and then on the sides we had the back bracket, so we just used that and glued the stick across from the front to the back. And once I had all of that, I'm taking my hot glue gun and going across the painter sticks, and then I'm laying the top on top of it. I'm just measuring to make sure that it's even. And once that was secure, I wanted to trim the front here, so I went about 2 inches in, and I just marked 2 inches from left to right, and then I took my straight edge and just made a straight line. And then I again took my zip snip cardboard cutter, and I just went across and I just cut the front that was hanging over. I didn't like how it was hanging over too much, and it was easier for me to get the top on first and then cut it down. And then I did the same thing on the left and right side. I went in 1 inch on the sides, made my straight line, and then took the zip snip and trimmed the sides off. Okay, and this is what we have so far. Now I'm going to flip it upside down and I'm going to put a base on it. So here I'm going to cut another trifold board and cut both of the 10-inch end flaps off. And I'm going to use the center 20-inch piece in the center of the bottom. And then I took another piece of the center of the trifold board, and I just cut the size I needed to finish off the two ends. Now the base you want to hang over a little on the sides in the front. And we get a lot of cardboard, so you don't have to buy the trifold boards. They were just easy to work with, but you can use a cardboard box as well. And I'm just going to use my hot glue gun, and on the metal bracket here, I'm just going to apply the glue on both the left and right side and lay the cardboard down. Then I'm going to take some popsicle sticks to secure the center cardboard to both the left and right sides. So I put them about 5 inches from the back and then the front. And I put them in the center as well. And then I'm just going to take my zip snip tool and trim the front just to make it even. I had a couple pieces that were not very straight. And then I'm going to come along the sides here and come out about 3 inches, make my straight edge, and cut the extra off. And I'm going to do that over here on the left side as well. Again, this was my first time ever doing this, so of course, second time around, I would probably do things a little differently. But it was easier for me to attach everything larger and then trim it smaller. And then I took more of my Wise Owl black paint, and I painted the entire base and any touch-ups I needed on the inside. And there we go. Now we just have this cardboard fireplace. And once you decorate it and put a table runner on the top, now you just have this really fun Christmas project that you can place inside your living room or if you have a store. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Paint products can be found on our webpage at chalkitupfancy.com. And don't forget, you can check out some other tutorials over on our YouTube or our webpage. Have a great day.